Hey, this is Passy from Passy's World of ICT, the guy with the white hat, and I always excel. And so finally we're starting our Excel course, which we've been wanting to do for so long. And here we go with an introduction and just an overview of what Excel is all about, that green X application that's in Office. All right, so Office 365 Excel overview. What are we going to be doing? All right, so we'll find out what exactly is a spreadsheet, okay? It's different from a Word document, it's different from a PowerPoint, which you may have seen before, but this is a totally different sort of guy. How do we do calculations? It's for doing calculations, what spreadsheets are used for, so we'll look at that. How do we format text and numbers? That's something that's going to be answered in the course, but I don't think we'll look at that today. How do you get totals of columns? Well, that's our first lesson after this one, actually. How do we produce graphs of data? Well, we're not going to produce them today. We're just going to show them to you. Sorry, I've got a bit of an itchy nose from hay fever. How do we do percent calculations? And we probably won't do any today, but that is something in our course. So these are the sort of things we're going to be looking at in this beginner's course to Excel. So what is a spreadsheet? Well, you start up the green X application rather than the blue W or the orange PowerPoint, and then you get into Excel. So these are manual spreadsheets. These have been used by bookkeepers and accountants for hundreds of years, except they used to rule things up in ledger books by hand and write it all out by hand. But now, of course, it's all done in electronic spreadsheets we use today. Now, the very first electronic spreadsheet was made by Apple, and that was on the Apple II computer that was called VisiCalc. And Microsoft Excel was first released in 1985, so it's been around for 15 years now, and it's improving all the time. And with Office 365, you automatically get the latest updates where they've improved it, which is really good. There was another spreadsheet that came out around 1985. That was called Lotus 123, I think. Pretty sure that's what's its name, and that's the one I first learnt when I was doing IT at the bank. We use this thing called WordPerfect and Lotus rather than Microsoft Word and Excel. But anyway, Excel was the one that's dominated and survived. So let's get on with it. That's what a spreadsheet looks like, by the way. We've sort of got columns here, and this is one where you can sort of have all these categories and you can keep track of all the money and do arithmetic on it, all right? So that's what accountants do. They've got all these items associated with a business, and there's all these costs and depreciation, and it's worth less as it gets older and all this sort of stuff. And all that business work is all done in Microsoft Excel. And Microsoft Excel is also great for doing graphs and charts. So here we've just got from a cake and muffin shop, a little shop that sells things in the morning to people. We've got like cakes, and we've also got different types of muffins here. And this is how many we sold of each on like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then we've split up cakes and muffins to see what the difference is. And then you've got all these numbers and things, but they're hard to look at. But it's much easier with the graph. You can see that Friday here with this big brown bar along the bottom, that's a really big day for cakes, okay? Maybe because they have little office morning teas and stuff on a Friday, so people want to buy some little cupcakes and things. And every day, cakes at this shop beats muffins, so most people get little cakes rather than muffins. And then we can look at also here the different types of cakes. There's banana cake, carrot cake, mud cake, and lemon cake. And we see that mud cake is the clear winner every day of the week. They sell more of the chocolate mud cake because everyone likes chocolate. And that's all good. So spreadsheets display the data. Before we do the graphs, we've got to have the raw data in all these columns and sort of rectangles and boxes and things in the spreadsheet. So this is called a worksheet here. And you can see we've got columns and rows. There's sort of columns here like banana cake, carrot cake. The names of everything is in column A, and it's been stretched a little bit to make it big enough for those to fit, which we'll learn how to do another day. Then we got column B that has the Monday sales in it. Column C's got the Tuesdays. So these going downwards are columns, which are like the columns that accountants would rule up in a ledger book or bookkeepers. They're with alphabetical order, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Then they go into like at the end of the alphabet, they go double A, then A, B, A, C. Like you can have hundreds of thousands of these columns. And then the rows going across, like here we've got banana cake, and here are all the numbers for banana cake going across the screen, and going across they're numbered, okay? So banana cake is on row number 5. Blueberry muffin here, all the figures for blueberry muffin are on row number 9, okay? And the Monday figure is in column B. The Tuesday figures for like blueberry muffin, there's 26 was sold on a Tuesday, that's in column C, all right? So the intersection of a particular row and column forms what's called a cell. So this banana cake, selling 20 of them on Monday, is inside this little box. So it was typed in this box. When you open up Excel, you get a whole big set of boxes to work with. That's what it's all about. It's the boxes application. And that 20 was put in this box, all right? Now that's called a cell. It's in a very specific column and a row, and it's unique to that area. Now the location of the cell or the group of cells is called the cell reference. So how do we use our, our location when we're driving in the car is worked out by our GPS coordinates. How do we sort of have these coordinate things to work out the location here? So where's this Friday that's being typed in that particular box? Where is that located? All right, well, that's located in column F. So it's in column F and it's on row number 4. So if we go to column F across and then we go down 1, 2, 3, 4, that's how we get to Friday. So you can see up this top left-hand corner, it's put what's called the cell reference. The cell reference is always the column first and then the row. Okay, so that particular value Friday that's been typed in is at cell reference F4. Okay, it's at column F and row number 4. Now we're doing a few technical things in this introduction. Don't stress about memorizing all of these and that. These are all going to be covered again separately in the lessons, and we'll learn how to do all of this. We're just kind of giving you an overview of the sort of things we will be learning. All right, so in the Excel application, when you open it up, it's like the other Office applications. The first thing it has is a ribbon with all these different things you can do in the ribbon. Like you can see this letter A with the red. That's for changing the color of the text. And see how we've colored in the total hours here in blue. We did that with this paint bucket icon. So the ribbon has all these different things you can do, and we'll be learning quite a lot of them. And it also has ribbon tabs. Okay, so when you go to a different tab, this whole layout here changes and you get different sets of tools. So it's kind of like having all these drawers in your kitchen. This is the set of kitchen drawers, but we can open up the insert drawer and there'll be all sorts of different things in there. Maybe that's where we keep all of our chopping boards and tea towels or something. But if you go onto a different drawer or a different tab, like the home tab, that's going to have the knives, forks, spoons in it. That's kind of table cutlery. So this ribbon is divided up. There's a whole lot of ribbons. There's several different ribbons, just like there's several different drawers in the kitchen with different groups of things in them. These are called tabs. Now we're going to mainly be working on this home tab. 90% of the things we need are all on the home tab. You go to the file tab if you want to save something, but you can use the save icon up here to save things, just like in Word or PowerPoint. But yeah, the home tab is what we'll be working on. So there are ribbon tabs, and be aware of those. Now, as we talked about, now the cursor is a box. When you move your arrow keys, use the arrow keys on your keyboard, this green box will move around the spreadsheet. And at the moment it's on Tuesday for Anastasia, and it's on the number 8 here. So our current cell address, remember, it's a column plus a row. Where that cursor has been moved to at the moment is to be on the 8, okay? And that 8 is at column C, and we're down at row 7, okay? So the address of that C7. Now, we don't have to worry about figuring out, oh, hang on, we got to go across 3. Yeah, that's C. So C is the first thing. Then we're going to go down 1, 2, 3. We don't have to worry about that because Excel always puts the cursor's cell reference up here for us in that little box. That's what that box is for. Now, the cursor is called the cell pointer. It's not actually called a cursor. So this green box that we can move all around the screen to go to every single different box on there, even blank ones down here, that's called the cell pointer. It's a boxed cursor, basically. And this one here is the formula editing bar. So we'd click into a cell like this one down here, and then you can type something into it. So if you click the cursor into there with your mouse or move it down, you can type in. Now, when you want to change things, often we don't change it in the box, we change it up here on this editing bar, okay? And that's also where we're going to be writing formulas. So that's something you'll need to sort of learn that's new, which isn't in PowerPoint or Word, this idea of using a formula bar and editing bar. And down here, you can have several different ones of these spreadsheets going at once. We're on the one called hours at the moment, which has the hours that people have worked at Jan's Juices, okay, a little small business juice bar. But you can have different ones here on these ones. So we have sheet tabs as well, which we'll talk about in another lesson, okay? Now I need a drink of water because I'm getting a bit husky. Been too long since I've done videos. Sorry if that came out really loud. Now, formulas. Now, again, this is technical stuff. We're going to learn it separately, slowly in lessons. We'll just show you what it is today. So here we've got payroll calculations. That's another thing that Excel's great at doing. And we need to take how many hours someone's worked and then multiply it by how many dollars per hour they're paid. Okay, and that'll work out their first pay, the gross pay. So down here for Tiana, she's done 34 hours and $15 an hour. Now, if you just start up the calculator, which is on Windows, you can type in 34 times 15 and work out it's 510. But you don't have to be starting up that calculator all the time. Excel has a calculator built in, but there's kind of a special way of doing it. Because we want to do a calculation for this box, that's where our cursor is at the moment, okay? It's circled in green, in a green square. What you have to do is, we've got to take that 34 and multiply it by 15. Now up here, you don't type 34 by 15. What you do is you use them, it's kind of like an algebra formula. You go equals to tell it that we're doing some arithmetic. So you always press equals first, and then we can either do plussing, minusing, the star symbols for multiplying and the slashes for dividing. We want to do multiplying, so we're doing star. Now we have to do the addresses, but if you click in here, Excel will tell you that's B85, and then we need the star to do times. You want to times it by this guy, C85. And it puts the answer in here for us automatically. So that's using formulas, but don't worry about that today. We'll have a whole separate lesson doing formulas, and the result goes into this box here. All right, so those mathematical operators or formulas, your normal plus, minus. Now timesing, multiplication is a star symbol, not using the letter X, and we don't have a divided by symbol on the computer keyboard, so we use the /, which is down sort of the bottom right-hand corner near the enter key. We can also get percents of things and also raise them to powers using this caret symbol. Now the caret symbol, you'll have to hold down shift and do a 6 to get that. Likewise, if you're doing a percent, you'll have to do shift and 5 to get to that symbol. Now you can get plus and minus and brackets if you've got a complicated calculation to do from up here, but it's easiest just to go to the very right-hand corner of your keyboard. On the right-hand corner of all keyboards, it just has the slash, times, minus and plus symbols there, and it's a lot easier to just find them over there straight away and press them because you don't have to use the shift key at all. So that's the way for getting at those values when we need them. And these are just some simple formulas for adding, subtracting, multiplying cells, dividing, doing percents and so on. But don't worry, we'll have a whole separate lesson on that. Excel also has these functions where you can add up a total using the sum function. You can find the smallest value that you've got in a particular column using the minimum. Maximum finds the largest value. Average will work out the average of all your figures, and count will count how many of them are. So we're in the UK and we're going to set up a disco, a sort of little DJ party in the UK here, and everyone's in their UK fancy dress. So that's like they're going to have a great time. But of course, it all costs money, and this is how much it costs per person. All right, so the hire of the hall is going to be split up between how many people are coming, how many we require. Okay, so we need to get 300 people to pay £1.20 for the buffet, because the buffet for the night's $3.60, and here we have a total. And what we can do down here is we can work out the grand total. It'll add up all of those. That's using the sum formula. We can find the minimum cost of something was actually $2.39. Now, where is $2.39? Oh, the average price, sorry, of all these items is $2.39. The highest price you pay is this for the buffet for 300 people, $1,080. And the lowest price you pay is the $30. Now, where's the $30? Oh, the $30 is just for the caretaker person from the hall. They have to be there to make sure nothing gets damaged and to sort of show them where the power board is and organize the lights and all that sort of stuff, and get the chairs out of storage. So they need the caretaker person at the hall as well, and that costs $30 for them to be there. As long as you give them a free feed from the buffet, they'll be happy. Now the count is 7. That's how many items are there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in that column. So yeah, we've got all these functions to help us work out things rather than us having to get our calculators and count. Or let's search through here and find the smallest 45. Or is there anything smaller than that? Oh, I don't know. I'll have a look. Oh, it's 30. That's the smallest. All with one simple function in Excel, you can get all those answers straight away. There's also VLOOKUP, which we might get to in this course, but that's a more advanced thing where you can actually have Excel have a bit of artificial intelligence and look things up in tables, just like we look up a word in the dictionary like quench, which I need to do now. Satisfy one's thirst by drinking. Healthy water is a great thing to drink to stay hydrated. So yeah, you can look it up, quench, and then you can replace it here with the definition of it. So what you do is you set up this table. We've got this table of how you scored on a little quiz. If you got 0 on the quiz, well, there's lots of work for you to do. If you got a 5, you're halfway there. If you got a 9, well, you're going really well. If you got a 10, you're starring. So what we want to do is we want Excel, when we put a number in here like 5, we want it to go look up in that table. What's 5? 5 means halfway there. So we want it to put a little comment on the spreadsheet as well. So when we're sending off this result to some students or something that we've extracted from a spreadsheet, we can have it automatically do a comment. We don't have to type halfway there every time they get a 5. We can use this lookup table to do it automatically. Now, it gets a little bit complicated there with that formula. They're probably dying thinking, oh, this looks like maths and algebra and it's horrible. But, you know, once you've done a few and you know how to do it, it's okay. It's like doing roller skates for the first time. It's really hard when you first do it, but then later on it gets easy. Okay, so the advantage of spreadsheets, you can update information and do calculations really quickly, a lot quicker than having to press a whole bunch of calculator buttons and type things in. We can use them for stock, how much sort of we've got in a shop, payroll, working out people's pays and doing the tax and superannuation, sales, how our sales are going of different items in a business that we've got. They can also produce these graphs, and you can even make these kind of thermometer graphs. You know when they have this fundraising and they show where the thermometer's up to? But here it's saying the goal's 750 and they're 60%. Well, 20, 40, 60, I think the thermometer should be here or something. It looks a little bit high because that looks like 80%. But yeah, I'm sure you can search YouTube and Google and work out how to do this, because I just got this picture from Google Images to show you. So yeah, there's all sorts of graphs you can do. We won't be doing these thermometer graphs probably. Maybe at the end of the course, if we've got time, we could do them. But spreadsheets are just wonderful. They can do so many things. And he doesn't always excel. I always excel. Can you see that? I always excel. But when I do, it's at spreadsheets. Bad timing be damned. I love you regardless. My affection isn't measured by a watch or a spreadsheet. Now that's the thing to say to someone. And you know, there's merch. Like I got this t-shirt and you can get mugs and caps and everything, because that's what people that love spreadsheets do. But we'll show you why they're so good. All these applications you can do for businesses with a spreadsheet. You can do labor analysis. So we got all these people working at the juice bar, this was, how many hours they worked. And like it's all kind of mumbo jumbo when you look at it in the sheet. You can get totals for how much they worked a week and how many hours were worked by everyone for the day to get an idea of what your wages bill's like each day. But from this, it's much better to look at it in a graph, and Excel does great graphs and charts, and we'll learn how to do them later in our course. That's going to be like 40% of the course or so is learning all about the charts and graphs. And you can see here, we've got the people's names that worked, and we've got a nice little pie chart of how they worked. It looks like they all did a pretty even share of things, really. And we've also got the percents put on there as well. Excel's automatically calculated the percents, and they're on there. We can also work out each day, what were these 32, 32, 23 numbers? We can put them on a graph and we can easily see Thursday. It seems like Thursday is a big day at the juice bar. Must be really busy, and there's a lot of work to do there on a Thursday. That's the biggest working day. And of course, Monday would be really big because you've got to get started for the week. Then if we just want to compare some people working, we've compared Talia, who's the slightly darker green, with Jamalia. Oh, and this is a really cool thing too. We made these in Excel, but when you copy and paste them into PowerPoint, you get this nice clear background, but it also changed it to our theme of our PowerPoint, which is a green for Excel. So these were more better colors in the original, but anyway, let's work with what we got. So it's Talia and Jamalia, so they work the same on Monday. You can see here that on a Wednesday, Talia, the dark green, doesn't work. That's her day off, okay? So you can compare the hours different employees are working and put that in a graph day by day here. We can look at the weekly totals. We can look at the people and what percent of the wages they are costing us. All right, so that's really good for labor analysis. Analyzing crime. They don't put out crime statistics that are easy to find, but they used to be readily available 5 years ago or so. And in one of the Excel courses we were doing for when I was teaching at this high school, we looked at all these crimes, and you can see the biggest crime here is assault, crime against a person. Then property crime. The big thing here was this was comparing 2 different years, and you can see in 2012, the darker green one, there was a lot more theft from motor vehicles, but that had dropped a bit come 2013. So crime pretty much stayed the same pattern in 2013, except here it dropped for theft from motor cars. Now, when you look at all those figures and stuff, it's really hard to see that from looking at the numbers, okay, unless you're some kind of number genius. But it is so much easier here looking at it in the graph that's come from the spreadsheet. And Excel does these so quickly and easily, as you'll see when you do our course. Sales analysis, we've got a coffee shop here that's selling cappuccino, latte, mocha, and espresso. And you can see that latte, 35%, is kind of their most popular one that they're selling at the moment, okay? And it's all easily spotted by putting all this into a spreadsheet and then have Excel automatically make the graph. And our daily coffee sales for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, you can see Friday's the big day, end of the week. Everyone needs a coffee before they go to work on a Friday. And going back to work on Monday's a big day as well. And midweek, sort of Tuesday and Thursday, it's a bit quieter there at the morning coffee shop. Sort of costings for events and things. So we got this fun day event hire company, and you can get like a jumping castle, you can have bungee races, the sticky wall that you stick to, that's really fun. All these things cost different amounts of money. So if you do get one, some of these things like a marquee, you've got to hire it for at least 2 days. They're not going to put up a marquee just for 1 day and take it down again. So yeah, you can sort of put all these figures in here of what you want and then work out the total cost. And maybe the sticky wall is going to be too expensive, so you'll have to scrap that one, and you can see how the cost will come down. So it's great for doing costings and estimates. If you're working on a holiday here, so we've got everything we need for a great 7-day ski holiday. But we want to change that because it comes out too expensive. So I think, well, what if we only went for 5 days? How much cheaper would that be? And you can do all of that in Excel. This was an exercise we gave our students to do, but we're not doing today. But that's great for budgets as well. You can get into full data analysis. This was a senior school project where they had to take all this participation in sport figures. So the government did this big study about what age groups were participating in sport. Were more males participating than females? You think, oh yeah, all the guys get out and play here in Australia, cricket, football, soccer, basketball, but actually the women get out a lot as well. So it turned out to be pretty sort of even, except for this younger age group here. So yeah, all this stuff, you can get all these figures from the government and do like full data analysis. And it's so much easier to look at a well-constructed chart and graph to be able to do that. You can do food analysis. And here we were analyzing, this was an assignment that will be one of the optional ones for our course. Here you've got the fat content, calories that come from the fat and calories not from the fat, and we can sort of work out what does the fat in McDonald's mean. Well, you know, fat, the thing about McDonald's is it's great, and there's nothing like a Macca's run because you love to eat it, and there's 3 reasons why. Because it's got lots of sugar and salt, and that stimulates your taste buds and makes you want to eat more. Also, if something's fatty, like a fatty sausage off the barbecue or something like that, it slides down your throat easier, and your brain likes that. It says, oh, this is really nice, easy to eat food. I'm going to eat more of this because it's so easy to eat. And the other thing is, what is it? Salt, sugar, and fat. They're kind of the 3 things. And McDonald's food does taste great, but unfortunately it's got a bit too much sugar and fat in it, and you can become a big Ronald McDonald if you eat too much of it. And this is just a study seeing how much calories in there, which is energy you would have to burn off after eating this big mega Mac meal. Otherwise you're going to get bigger and bigger like this big Ronald here. And I love this one here. Watch this fast food documentary 2 hours later. Yep, we've all had that. You've just got to have that Macca's hit. I guess Passy's World of ICT will never be getting sponsorship from McDonald's after this. And I'll just show you this spreadsheet. Once you get into using them and stuff, you find all sorts of uses. And this is my summer project that I'm organising. I really want to get into the water and do surf photography, okay? I've been doing surf photography from the beach with a big long lens because I've got this other business called Photos by Passy, and it's really sort of gone down the tubes, in surfing joke there, because everyone's got the iPhone, and my goodness, the latest iPhone has like a wide angled lens, it has a telephoto zoom lens, it has a portrait lens, it has all these effects. But the thing is, people can't really take it into the water, or it isn't a big enough zoom to do surfing photography. And surfing videos, people will pay money for them. So if you get a video of some guy surfing that he can put up on his Facebook page and his Instagram, they'll pay you between $25 and $50 for that. So the thing is, this could actually, as well as being fun and something I want to do, because I've always done surfing, but I'm a bit too old now to get into the big waves, and I had this back operation which wasn't too good either. But I should be able to get in the water and swim and take photos, and that's what I'm doing. I want to do photos and video at the same time. So rather than getting I've been inspired by this English guy, Ben Pascoe. My name's, as you might know, is Pascoe. Passy is actually, Pascoe's my real name. So he's a distant relative in the UK, and he's been doing surf photography for about 14 years. He's got a great website, Learning Surf Photography. Go check that out. And I've been inspired by him because even if I can just get in the water and get one of these wave shots, they look so cool, and I just want to get one. So what I'm going to do is, rather than have one big expensive camera, which could get water in it and get ruined, and there's $2,000 down the drain, I'm going to use my snorkeling cameras. So this Sony Action Cam, why isn't it GoPro? Well, I'm sort of, I use Sony equipment a lot, and that is actually better for underwater. It was at the time than the GoPro. Probably the latest GoPro might be better. But anyway, this is great. It's got a little wristwatch thing too, where you can look at it and see what you're filming, kind of sci-fi movie style. I just really like this. And I've taken it snorkeling at the Barrier Reef and coral dives, and it's fantastic. This Lumix camera here is for diving as well, and shoots video and stills. This one doesn't do very good still pictures, but it does great video, and it's got 100 frames per second slow-mo. This is a little Lumix compact camera that's going to be inside a water case that does slow motion too at 100 frames per second. So the idea is I'm going to have these 3 cameras all on a rig that I can hold in the water, like this guy here, and they're going to be filming. This will be doing wide angle video, this will be doing slow motion video, and this one here I'm going to actually take photos with, so I can be capturing video to use and taking photos at the same time. So that's the idea, that I'm going to be out there with 3 cameras all filming at the same time. One's going to be a wide angle, one's going to be zoomed in, kind of like the cameras on the back of the iPhone. Anyway, I could talk about that for ages, but I decided I better keep a spreadsheet here of how much it was costing me for the equipment. And the thing is that I thought it'd be about kind of $500, $700. I was thinking $700, but it sort of worked out $980, $450 at the moment, just where I bought things from eBay or bought them brand new off the web. So yeah, for costing a project that you're doing, and of course, you know, if this costs around $1,000, well, if I can sell videos for $25 each, I think if I can sell 40 videos to people, well, then this equipment's paid for itself, okay? So that's the other thing, the return on the investment. So after I've done 40 videos I've sold for $25 each, then I can start making profit. So that's what that's for. All right, so you can even build like a full business quoting and job management system for a catering company. And I'll just show you this really quickly before we finish. All right, so we won't be doing anything this involved, but this is Mel's Mornings Teas, and she'll supply like a big corporate morning tea for hundreds of people. And there's muffins and cakes, or you can order sandwiches as well. And there's different packs and all these different prices and things like that that are worked out. Now, if we're having some sort of, and then there's the labor cost, how many caterers you need. So if it's only a small job, you only need to hire one caterer, but if it's a bigger job, you need two. And you just pay them some wages, and you don't make profit on that. You don't make profit on sugar and milk, but everything else she makes a profit. So if it's a small job, she wants to make 40% profit. Big job, she wants to make a lot of money on, okay? Because that's what really keeps the business going. So there's all these factors and considerations and prices. Now you can work this out manually, which takes ages. Like here is some job that's going to have 100 adults and 40 people for the Dandenong Social Services Network morning tea. And there's going to be that many people, 140 people altogether, and the profit margin she needs is 60%. So there's all these calculations to do, and you can write them out on paper and do them all by hand, and that's a really big job. But the thing is, if we build Mel a spreadsheet, then she can use it for this job to do the calculations and all of the other jobs she gets. She can do it all in one big spreadsheet, and it can make an invoice bill to the customer as well. Now, unfortunately, this I can't find the spreadsheet. It's on some old hard drive somewhere. I really tried for an hour to find it this morning. But, you know, at the end of it, it makes this nice little invoice too to bill the customer and show them exactly the quote, so you can email that out to them and show them. But if I did get the Excel, I'm sure I'll find it and I'll show it during the course, okay? So that's Mel's morning tea. So the next steps, finally we're finished. Oh gee, that's been a 30-minute video. I hope you used the 1.5 speed on the tools cog. I forgot to say that at the start of the video. Like, there's a tools cog on the bottom of the YouTube video on the player bar. You should click that and make it 1.5, 1.75x, because I'm a slow talker. But anyway, the next step is to actually do our Excel beginners course. So after this, we're going to set up and get the first video done, hopefully this afternoon. And these videos will be like the other courses on our YouTube channel and our website. So just Google for Passy's World of ICT and you'll find everything. But you need to do them in steps. So this will be the first one to watch to get the overview. Then there'll be lesson 1, and you need to do that video. You need to do them in steps because they're all going to build on each other until we're sort of analyzing like a coffee shop, and we've got payroll, and we've got sales, and we've got costs, and we've got graphs, and we've got pie charts and bar charts and line graphs, and put it all together at the end into a big sort of business analysis project. All right, so thanks for watching the video. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Subscribe, give this a thumbs up, like, and subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any updates, and you'll see when all of the Excel ones come in so that you can excel at Excel. And we'll see you in the next lesson.